Hello everyone, welcome to week 23 of me talking impromptu. For the last week, I have seen few news that was happening in the world. One is the US actions between Venezuela and between Cuba, what they're gonna do with those countries. And also there was around 400 activists are captured in international waters by Israel, I think Sumut flotilla. Before I'm going to talk about that, today I read something interesting. You know, in the history of humanity, we learn in our childhood that Christopher Columbus found America in 1492. Probably he's from Europe, and that was the written history that we have learned, right? So who wrote that history? Simply Europeans. And for the Europeans, during 1400s, they didn't know that North America and South America existed. In their maps, they only knew Europe, Africa and Asia. In their maps, only 3 continents were there. So they were like trading with Asia and Africa through land. They were doing transactions, importing and exporting spices and goods through the land. Through a road called Silk Road. When the Ottoman Empire rises, they have blocked that road, and because of that, Europeans wanted to do business with Asia in another way. So that is why Columbus have sailed from Europe to find India. He wanted to go to India. And when he was traveling at that time, think about their mindset, right? They only knew there are 3 continents and they knew the earth is a globe. So they thought when you go west, you will find India. So when they were traveling, they came to Cuba. So they thought they are Indians. That is why we still call them Red Indians. So that is the story of how Columbus found America, right? Then only after that, Europeans are migrating into North American continent, and even British Empire have expelled a lot number of people from Europe to America, and that is how America have established. So after Columbus, Vasco da Gama from Portugal first arrived in India. So after Portugal came, then came the Netherlands, Holland, then came the British Empire, and that is how British Empire have captured most of the countries in the world. So basically Europeans are coming to Asia to do business. So most of the India, Sri Lanka was captured by British Empire from the East India Company. And at that time they did not know the reality of this world. They were doing their best to do transaction and keep their civilization going. But one thing they didn't know is there were much better civilizations, much better ways for people to live in Asian countries. But when they came to Asia, they have implemented their history, their way of living into the people of Asia and also in America, in Australia. It's all their way of living, their way of governance, their way of telling people how to live. But is that the best way for people to live? So when Europeans do business with all over the world, they came up with currencies, and few families, few created banks to manage money, and those money systems came up to Federal Reserves, and it is now we are just printing money to do that transactions. And the same banking systems that emerge in Europe later goes into America as well, because even America is only 249 years old. And America got independence from whom to establish America? America got independence from British. That means British Empire was the one who is controlling America as well. After Columbus have found America in 1490s, then 1450s, no, 1500s, then America was established in 1700s, and from then now on 249 years have passed by. So still the current systems that we inhabit, or the systems we were inherited, came from the influence of Europeans who even didn't know North America and South America were existed. And right now the world is run by dollars mainly. All of the international transactions have to do by dollars. So to get dollars, they have to give something from their country to get dollars. So without dollars, they can't get essential things for human survival. The fuel prices go up, the energy resources go up, and everything needs money to import and create infrastructure in the countries. And the same powerful country now runs the American dollar, American country, is making sanctions on Venezuela and Cuba and Iran. And when they sanction those countries can't get the energy resources from other countries to survive for themselves, because everyone has to trade in dollars. So when they can't do that, their inflation go up with this monetary system. When that goes up, those people can't provide their basic needs with ease. That is how those countries go poor and poor. And the same leaders from America come to the media and tell them, these countries are so poor, they are so corrupted, and they have weapons, so they are trying to target us. They have communities, governments. With that, they are trying to show us they have democratic governments. Well, communities mean to think and create for systems for all the people to survive. Whether it is democracy or communities or socialists or anything, the job of the leaders is to think and focus of all the people in the country. If you are number one in the world, it is your job to think all the people in the world and create better systems, easy ways for people to do transaction, to business and provide their basic needs so they can live happily and freely. But even Pluto has said the dangers of democracy. Democracy can be manipulated into a popularity contest. In this world, in this current system, humans are trained to be number one, to be the best. When you become the best, you are rewarded. And people are working hard to get that reward. And when you are number one, you don't want to lose that position. You want to be number one forever. And when humans work towards that kind of achievement, to maintain that power, they have less and less time to think about the millions of people in the world. Right now, whoever have the most money can broadcast them in every media, in every newsletter, every newspaper, radio, posters. They need huge amount of money. From where they going to find that money? Other organizations help them find that money. So when someone help you, you have gratitude towards them. Then your decisions are not wholeheartedly based on the benefit of people in the country. Your actions more likely to favor the benefits of those organizations to thrive and survive. And that is happened in the world right now. Even I saw Marco Rubio saying that Cuba is a threat to America. There are only 10 million people. Why you can't let them to survive on their own way? Why you make them sanctions and then come and tell the world that these countries are poor, they can't live properly, they have a communist government? That's how you create division. That's how you spread division through media. And the same people who became powerful from wars and banking systems, managing resources, they are the same people who manage media as well. They show you what you to think, what you to believe, not what you need to survive in this world. to thrive, to be happy, to be fulfilled. And Venezuela, what is the main purpose of abducting their president? Now there are news going, some American companies going for Venezuela to make oil agreements to stabilize their economy. What a funny joke. They have destabilized their economy first and they try to show them a solution to stabilize in their own way. Why those people be independent and find their own way to stabilize their economy? Why you got to make sanctions first and destabilize so you can send your oil companies to stabilize that economy? Who gonna profit the most? Those oil companies. So who gonna support the campaigns of politicians? The same organizations in indirect ways. The same people who benefits the most from those actions. Even in Asian countries, we learn a half history, the history only they have known. Their history, they came to countries like India and Sri Lanka and learned their history, learned their technology, and went and create things saying they found this technology, but those technology were existed on those Asian countries for long time. Imagine till 1400s they didn't know North America and South America existed, and right now the same organizations, same banking systems who supported the British Empire are the ones who created Israel as well in 1948, not even 100 years ago. So when you see the pattern, when you see the evolution, how humans, how those same few companies and few people who control the resources in the world have evolved, they realize the importance of controlling resources to be number one, because that is the mindset they have. Their mindset is not to create better systems for people to survive, but that is the job of a leader. Simply, job of a leader is to think and focus and create systems for people to survive in their own country. And right now it is global. We all are connected easily with a finger tap. And if you are number one, if you want to be number one, you got to think about all the people in the world. If your actions are harming another human, that is not moral, that is not your job. If you give excuses for the destruction you are doing, you are not a proper leader. But the media, powered by the same organizations who want to manage their profits, their wealth, their control, their influence, show you a story to justify their actions. So they can capture, let's say, take control of Venezuela. Why? They have the best oil reserves in the world. Cuba still got resources and a beautiful island. 10 million people are living. Even people were there before even Columbus arriving. And the same Europeans are now called Americans in another continent. Same mindset, same way of controlling, same mindset of being number one. They are competing and rest of the world is suffering, because even with democracy we have the power to elect them, and our decision, our choice is manipulated through media, through a popularity contest. That is what Pluto have warned us about. Even the same democracy have made Pluto to get killed. As a citizen, if you are being manipulated, it is not the problem of the human who manipulate you. It is your problem, because you are the one getting manipulated. So if not to get manipulated, you got to understand how this is working. You got to critically think about what they are showing in media and think what we need to survive in this world happily and to live peacefully. How they use fear to not make you take action on behalf of them. How they make you manipulate every 4 years during the election. When we understand that patterns that we are repeating from our history, what we have inherited, we don't have to fight the current system. We can create our own way of surviving, our own way of distributing resources, our own way of managing resources, and to live peacefully. And when we do that, the old systems will fade automatically. We don't have to force anything. You have the power to ask what kind of a leader you want in those positions, because you are the ones electing them. It is easy. You have the power when you realize the human nature, and when you imagine the human nature in those kind of positions, their actions are driving for survival of themselves, for their family. When we understand our attachments, we get to understand how leaders make actions to protect their attachments. A leader in a country is a responsibility. It is the biggest responsibility in the world. It is a job, and every job in the world demand a qualification. But for the most responsible job in the world, no one demanding a qualification. We only get manipulated through media, and it create our choice. They show you two people to choose one from, but whoever comes, not much difference. And the best qualification they have is just speaking in front of camera, public speaking skill. And we got to think, what kind of qualification does leaders need to be in that position? What kind of qualification? What kind of humans should be in those positions? The human who is in that position must be able to prioritize millions of people before they are prioritizing their attachment towards worldly resources, titles, and beliefs. Worldly resources are temporary. Our titles are temporary. It is just a name. And our beliefs, we are not sure it is true or not. That is why we believe. But humans have attachment to those things. And we can create education, a degree or training, ongoing training for people to learn about themselves, to give enough necessary education to be a leader in a country, knowledge about human behavior, knowledge about economics, knowledge about yourself, training to love yourself, training to understand yourself. In that way, we can create much better leaders for those positions. Then those leaders will be in that positions, and they will prioritize the humans, people in their country, people in the world first, before their attachment to be number one, to their attachment to control everything, to their attachment for their worldly resources, stocks, bonds, stock markets, everything. Right now we have two options. Either we can create leaders, or leaders are gonna be created from the existing systems. And do you like the existing systems? Do you like the leaders in the existing system? If yes, you have to do nothing. But if you don't like it, we have to come together and consciously create leaders for the future. To do that, we can create better systems for them to learn, train, so citizens can clearly see what kind of things they have learned, what kind of community things they have done, how is their education, do they have practice, how long they have practice. We can see those qualifications. Then people who are electing them, people who are voting, knows this person can prioritize myself, my neighbors, all the people in the country before he is maintaining his identity, position, his beliefs. That is the kind of evolution humanity needs right now. That is what humanity asking right now. That is what the nature asking right now. This nature is experiencing what humans, conscious humans are doing. Humans are the only conscious beings in this nature, in this earth. We can exist in a better way. Everything in this world needs balance. Even humans, whatever we do, we have to maintain the balance. Even if we have a lot of food, if we don't eat too much, we lose our balance. We can't even move. We don't have any mood to do anything. because we have gone over the limit. And humanity, civilization, we think we are evolving. When we evolving, we have to survive first. To survive, we have created technology. We have printed money to survive. But that survival must be aligned with nature. Nature means spiritual. Humans should align with nature and then provide our basic needs, make things easy for us to survive. But we, humans, we are evolving very fast in technology and we are not aligned in nature. So when we lose the balance with nature, what gonna happen? The nature itself gonna make it balance. When nature makes its balance, humans can't do anything. Humans have no answers, and that is why the elites, the so-called powerful people, have built underground bunkers and have food stored for years because they know they are making money, they are keeping their power, control, influence. But when the evolution, when our existence as a whole earth lose its balance, the nature reacts to keep its balance. If we don't want that to happen, we have to make conscious decisions in order to exist by aligning into nature. And in that process, leaders are the driving force shaping the course of human evolution. So first we have to think about what kind of leaders this world needs right now to evolve from this point onwards, and what will happen if we continue the same patterns that we repeated for 200-300 years. If we repeat the same patterns, we have to think what kind of nature, what kind of world do we remain for the next generation to experience. Do you like the way we experience the world? We are driving for so many rewards. We are working hard to survive, but we don't have to work hard to survive. It is the system that is existing right now. But when we elect leaders who can prioritize the humans before their attachment towards titles, worldly resources, power, then they have more time to think and focus about you. Think and focus and create better systems for you to survive by working less and enjoying the life more. But right now, leaders are busy planning invasions, creating more states to their country, even when they have 24 hours just like you and me. Even humans are driving, right? Humans are driving for control, peace. They think when they have more and more control, they have peace. But humans never find peace by achieving more control from outside world, by controlling outside world, outside environment. Humans will never achieve peace. Humans achieve peace by understanding the power of yourself. When you feel the power within yourself, you don't seek the power from outside. When humans don't feel the power inside, they seek the power from outside. And all the actions that is happening in the world is a result of humans seeking power from outside. So the voting citizens understand this, then they will think and they will come up with new ideas for what kind of leaders we need for us to evolve. What happens if we evolve in the same way? You will think more and more when nature takes it to their own hand. And the sad story I have seen in the last week is the boat Sumud Flotilla captured by Israel in international waters that was carrying aid to Palestine. Food, the basic human needs. And when UN wants to make a food, basic human needs, only two countries have voted against, that is America and Israel. Why? Don't you see a pattern? And right now, even the secretary, the minister of security in Israel. I think Ben Gavir. Did you see how he is treating for the detainees, the people captured from those boats? What wrong they have done to treat them like animals through media? What kind of power, control they are showing, demonstrating? Because the corruption, the human nature, that is the lowest position of human nature. When you don't understand yourself, when you think what you believe is true, your religion is true, your God is true, when you are too attached to those things, power, money, we only see beliefs. That's the only excuse they give us on media. But below that, they are more attached to money, power, control than they are attached to their beliefs. Imagine in those positions there are leaders who have gone through themselves, who understand the pain of another human. Do you think those people make Palestinian people starve to death, demolish all their houses and make plans to reconstruct again? No, that is their way of survival. If they are builders, they want to build over and over again. Otherwise, they don't have survival. If your company makes profit, you want to make more and more profit every year. Even if you don't have things to build, then you have to demolish everything and create again. That's when your GDP goes up. That's when you be number one. That's how you can boast on media. Our country is number one, highest GDP, more wealth. But even the American people don't have Medicare, free education, and American government is thinking about giving free healthcare to Israel people. What a funny thing. So it is up to you to think. I can't make the decision for you. I can give you the things happening in the world, the way I see how these patterns are working, how human nature maintaining those patterns, and you are the one who have to make the decision. You are the one who have to make the choice. When more and more people align with truth, align with understanding, wisdom, then those people will ask for better kind of leadership. When they ask for more and more ask for the demand, people have to supply, then automatically leaders are created from more emotional intelligence. Those leaders will think about people, the nature, and create better systems to be survive, exist in this world by aligning with nature. And then the nature will not hurt you. The nature will doesn't have a reason to maintain the balance, because the leadership you have chosen is making conscious decisions to maintain that balance. When that happens, there will be no people who are starving. There will be no people who sleep in the street. There will be no people who are fighting, because no one has a reason to fight. When you are well fed, safe to sleep at night, no one wants to fight. But right now, it is your choice. I speak in English because I believe if 10 million American people understand this, they can change the way we are evolving. Because American citizens hold so much power in the way we are evolving in this world. So, mainly, this message must go to American people for them to think more, to go more deeply within themselves and understand how everything connected and how everything make conditions to something to exist. Even our financial systems, that is something humans have made, our ancestors have made. Even our ancestors are humans who are born without knowing anything at one time. Even those ancestors came from people who didn't even know North America and South America existed. And even before that, there were much better ways for us to survive in this world. People knew, and some people wanted to erase that history and create new history for people to follow their way of living. But this way of living is not sustainable. It's not sustainable aligned with nature. When that happens, nature reacts. And right now is the best time for us to make conscious decisions, think for ourselves, our next generation. We are connected more than ever. Something I record in anywhere in the world, someone in America, someone in Israel, someone in Iran can see instantly. That is why we are living in the golden age. Our parents didn't have that luxury. Our parents learned only what they have shown through media. But right now, we can learn about ourselves, we can learn about economy, we can learn about anything from a single small device in our hand. So, my friend, this is the best time. This is the best time to think for yourself and make conscious decisions. Thank you.